Hey, it's Drybear. Throne and Liberty has just released a brand new Halloween update that includes a brand new battle pass, some new skins, and some awesome changes going into the game. Now, obviously, they'd already done their Halloween-styled, themed update that put the new dungeon in, the themed updates on the world and the towns, and of course, like the pumpkins-themed skins and all of that. This is going to be their Halloween Day update that just went live. It's live in-game right now, and it's available for all platforms. Already good to go. The first thing that you want to talk about is the battle pass. Finally, the first battle pass for Throne Liberty has exited and the new one has come in, and you'll recognize this one. This is the Phantom Tracker Star. This is the same battle pass that we had on the open beta that they had tested before, so it's now making its way into live now, so you can finally get that skin. Now, I was worried about this one actually being a little bit out of date because we are now further into the game, but it looks like they were a little bit more prepared this time around. So it does start you off with blue, like rare growth stones, and works its way up rather quickly compared to others. It also includes things like precious blessing pouches and bigger amounts for the abyssal contract tokens. So there's a good amount in here that are available as well. Keep in mind that if you have not claimed everything from the previous battle pass, the Zenith Star, at the top here, you will see a button that shows the previous battle pass. You will be able to click towards that and collect everything you've missed. And if there's extra star crystals that you have from that past battle pass, it'll convert those into consumables for you so they're not wasted. So make sure you claim that as soon as possible so it doesn't stack up for you as leftover content. Now, inside of the Star Shop, they do have a whole bunch of extra dimensional contract tokens as well as the abyssal contract tokens. So being able to pop these together is going to be nice. 300 dimensional contract tokens, 5 of these per character, and 7 of the 1,500 abyssal for unlock as well. There's no weapon skins in the battle pass. There are new ones in the store, but there's none in the battle pass specifically, and it's a pretty simple shop, but it's got some good stuff in it. Now, the Phantom Tracker is the new skin that comes with the new battle pass. It is a dual set, which means that if you're doing head or chest, they're combined into one piece. There isn't really any skins that are exactly limited this way. Most of them have multiple pieces that you can equip. This one is a single piece. It's all put together, and it's just the way that it connects on the neck. They didn't want to make it look bad. However, this along with the other skin in the store, they're going to start adding in the variant options, the types for the skins. If you look back at the beta skin or the launching skins, a lot of these were just single type. But if you go into the Mirror Boutique with the new skin, you'll notice that it has 3 different variants that you can unlock using Lucent. So you'll be able to unlock these with the built-in Lucent, and it'll give you different variants. So this is the way it looks on the normal character for the baseline, but you can unlock the Tranquil version, which has more of a coat tail and a bigger coat, or you can unlock the cool-headed version, which is more of like an acolyte's robe with some coat tails in the front rather than just in the back, and those variants are there for purchase. Of course, you can still color them like every other skin in the game, including the emissives, the glows that come off of it, which is super sweet. You can even add different tile sets to that on that as well. It is a single piece, but inside of the Mirror Boutique, you can turn off the headpiece. Since it is one piece, they give you that option. So just go to decoration inside of the Mirror Boutique and you can turn it on and off if you decide to have the hood on or off. Additionally, they added a Thunder Spirit skin, which looks like this, and just like the other one, it does have one variant. So head over to the Mirror Boutique, come inside of the building here, put in the Thunder Spirit skin, and you can also unlock the second variant, which is this what it looks like, at least on a female character. If you have a male, it would look slightly different than this, but you can have the variant options here, and of course you have the recolors as well. And again, you would have to buy these with Lucent if you wanted to unlock the alternate version of the skin. They also added a new set of these weapons cosmetics. So these are extremely Halloween themed with the different colors in there. So you'll be able to check these out inside of this. They added in a new Morph. This is awesome. It's like a flame Halloween themed rabbit, the Flame Almirez. This is a dash mount. So if you wanted your ground mount to change to look like this, you can. They also added in a Storm Raven, which I think we could test out in the beta. I'm not sure if it's this exact one, but as you can see, it does have air trails and VFX as part of the skin, which is pretty cool. And then of course they added in some new Amatoys that you can unlock and use as a pet or part of your expeditions. Moving on to general, the field boss, they increased the rate of boss portal scaling to the amount of players participating. So if you've done field bosses, you know that it does 1, 2, 3 on the portals. When you enter into getting those locked up, they fill up pretty quick. And also you run into situations where guild mates will go into the portal without using the guild portal function. And so sometimes you get stuck out. So what they're doing is they're increasing the rate of boss portal scaling to the amount of players participating. So it's very high. It will help spread those out better. If it's very low, it'll help condense the players into one portal. And honestly, I feel like it should just be one portal and it just tries to it's best to put people in the right area and keep parties and guilds together. Having 3 when you don't really know how many are in each portal, it does require this kind of smart system to decide between that. It also provide more instances to spread players between fights and increase individual chances to earn contribution rewards, which is huge. You might want to choose the one that's full because you feel like your character's not that strong, or maybe you want to choose one that's less full so you can get higher participation, more value, or better chance at loot, depending on who's around. Additionally, for field bosses, they added an epic reward selection chest that have a chance of being acquired when receiving participation rewards for the contribution. This helps more players that aren't super juiced to get a chance at loot. I know a lot of people have been doing field bosses every day since the game came out, and some of them have been extremely unlucky in the rewards they get. And there's also some very strong rewards from field bosses that only come from specific field bosses that might be very good for a specific build, and people have just been fiending after it and just not getting those drops. So I think the epic reward selection chest will help in that situation as well. Allow players to select from any of the epic items that boss has a chance of dropping. So this helps you alleviate some of the RNG, especially if you need an item from a field boss that is important for a specific build. They fixed an issue in Death's Abyss where the last boss, Carnix, could be defeated by gravity. I've never seen it, but I've heard people doing this. I tend to avoid exploits. I guess they fixed that issue. Combat, the crowd control immunity gauge will now fill more quickly when players are targeted with multiple crowd control effects at the same time. This one, a lot of MMOs have in place in general. And I think if you're going to have a more open game like this, like an old school MMO like Throne and Liberty, you really need aggressive DRs in the crowd control department. So this is their first step in doing this. I don't think this is going to solve it for large PvP, but it will go a long way in helping PvP feel a little less stun locky in that case. And hopefully this feels really good. Let me know if you've tested this out in the game today and it feels really awesome. They increase the XP you get from completing Adventure Codex objectives. I think this will make leveling 1 to 50 a lot smoother. A lot of times you can just skip over these, but I think it's easy to work these into the leveling process. And if you decide you want to make another character, I think this is going to make leveling a lot easier from that standpoint. Event dungeons, active party recruitment posts, or matchmaking queues for special event dungeons will now cancel automatically if the event dungeon ends before recruitment is fulfilled. So in the case of the special event dungeon, they're putting this in just to make sure that things don't get really squirrely and weird later on, especially with the pre-mades that focus on that one specifically. New option added to preview and item stats at maximum enhancement. This is amazing. More games need to do this so you can compare the fully upgraded version to the fully upgraded version of what you have, or maybe another gear. So for example, I have Carnix's Nether Bow here, which is not fully upgraded yet, level 5. So if I wanted to, if I have this tooltip on screen, I can hover over the weapon, see the current level, and then on PC, I can hold Alt-C to show the fully maxed out version of this weapon. It obviously shows what upgrades, what the final stats are, and you can compare it to where it's at, or decide if you want to compare it to a weapon you currently have maxed out to see if it stacks up or is what you want it to be. The guild window now displays a guild's overall guild points as well as individual activity points that contribute to it, which makes it a little bit easier to see where everything is. They fixed an issue with the Golem Heart quest in Chapter 6. They added crafting recipes for Queen Bellendir and Tevent equipment items, thankfully. They fixed an issue where customized chat tabs, which they just added in the last patch, would disappear if you leave a group or guild. That's these in the bottom left corner down here, so you can easily update these and customize what's in them, which is great. I use these for showing like chat messages outside of loot drops and zoning and stuff like that, so I can see what people are saying because it can get lost in the sauce on that front. So having these disappear was kind of annoying, but you can set these up and keep them with that bug being fixed. Creating guilds with multiple characters on the same account no longer defaults those guilds to friendly. Characters now have a tighter turning radius when changing direction using the mouse keyboard controls. They added new updates to localization, a bunch of strings just being fixed up. So if you are localizing into a different language than the one shown here, then you'll obviously get some benefits there. I think this is going to be an ongoing thing, but luckily that's good. That's being looked at by their localization team. For controller, multiple controller functionality improvements for navigating menus and gameplay interactions have gone in. I use mouse and keyboard, but if you're a controller user, let me know how good this actually is. They fixed a crash instance from Queen Bellendir for for the Arch Boss event. Hopefully that fixes most of them, but the fact that they phrased it this way means that they're not sure what's causing it, but they found a fix for one of the instances, so hopefully this continues to be improved. For Requiem of Light and Festival of Fire, the dynamic events, completing the final tier of these events should now grant personal completion rewards. It was just bugged when it wasn't doing that. And lastly, the Grin Reaper outfit now properly changes the boot color when dyed for all body types. Oh, thank God. For chat, they added 2 more customizable tabs to the chat interface, increasing the total to 3, which is great. I currently have one for party and for like LFG, and then I have one for area chat and general, so I can separate those out and see what people are saying, and then focus on my party chat primarily. Character health bars now display the amount of shielding granted by skills. I think this is twofold awesome. One, it's better feedback for people that are trying to survive, but I think it's also better feedback for like tanks and healers or people using shields in general, because sometimes, honestly, it feels like your shields aren't doing anything when they're doing a crazy amount, especially like extra shields from like wand and stuff like that. You can get crazy value out of it, which goes a long way to keeping people alive, but without the proper visualization, it can make it feel like it's not doing enough. This will make that a lot better, which you can easily see here. So if I pop up my shield ability and show this off, you'll be able to see that the HP bar gets a little bit of a representation for that shield. So boom, it's a small shield there, but you can see it at the very end. So now you can see how much is shielded, and even gives you the value, which I can't remember if it did before, but having the visual is quite nice. They also slightly increased the size of the UI indicator for currently selected targets. I think especially, actually for everyone. I was going to say for a specific subset, but to be honest, the entire player base has complained about this. Like the difference between a target that you have selected and a target you don't was so minimal before. Sometimes it just took a little extra mental effort to know. So the increase is going to be quite nice. But you can see here, they actually ended up darkening the brackets as far as I can remember. So this is a little bit harder. And then they gave this big pillar in the middle that actually has a gradient like light effect that goes across it. It makes it a lot clearer which you have targeted and which you don't, which I think has a lot more impact on you being able to see what's going on in combat. They added number indicators on the target list in the Stellar Vision window. I actually don't know how many people actually use Stellar Vision, because I feel like if you're like a main MMO player, I don't know how much you actually like having this. It is a very powerful tool if you know what to do, but if you look in the menu here, you'll see this has a 1 on it now. If I scan this, it'll have a 2, and this actually has numbers, so I can click from here and I can see. It makes it super powerful. If you don't use Stellar Vision, I think you should consider doing it. It makes the game a little bit easier, and it's probably super good on console as well. But now they added numbers. You can see like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can click on them here and see where they're at, but I think the numbers also helps you filter through the nonsense when there's a lot of mobs on screen. For party matchmaking, when you close the settings screen and then you have to reopen it again, when you reopen it, it'll have the same settings you had before, a nice little quality of life, and multiple menu and UI improvements for the console UI experience have been added. So overall, I think it's a nice Halloween Day patch, fixing some bugs, crash issues, an exploit with Carnix in Death's Abyss, with the arch bosses as well, a brand new battle pass with a brand new skin, new store skins that go along with it as well, which I think is going to be a really nice addition to the game. But let me know what you think about the patch overall and where you stand with Throwing Liberty as it sits today. If you found value in today's video, leave a like down below, leave a comment for the algorithm to help this video get seen by more people, and don't forget to check out my other channels for other content and other stuff and other things.